What if everything you thought you were watching was only part of the story? What if the connection between Dylan Wang and Bai Lu is not just acting but something that quietly reveals itself in the moments you almost miss? Stay with me until the very end and decide for yourself, because once you see it you will not be able to unsee it. It all begins with a feeling, a subtle shift that happens the moment they share the same frame. It is not loud or obvious. It is not something that demands attention, yet it pulls you in, slowly and completely, like a story unfolding in real time without ever announcing itself. From their earliest appearances together, there was an ease between them that felt rare, a kind of natural rhythm that cannot be forced. Their conversations flowed without hesitation, their laughter came without effort, and their reactions felt perfectly timed, not because they were planned but because they seemed to understand each other instinctively. There was a scene that immediately caught the attention of fans, a simple interaction filled with playful energy, yet beneath that playfulness was something deeper. Bai Lu's expression softened in a way that felt genuine, her smile lingering just a little longer, and Dylan Wang responded almost instantly, his tone shifting, his presence becoming more attentive, as if he was reacting not to the moment but to her. It is moments like these that blur the line between performance and reality, because while acting can create emotion, it cannot always recreate the kind of connection that appears naturally, without effort, without direction, without awareness. Then came the behind-the-scenes clips, the moments where the script fades away, and what remains is something closer to truth. In one clip, Bai Lu is speaking casually, her tone light yet sincere, and Dylan Wang listens with a focus that feels deeper than simple attention, his expression soft, his reactions perfectly aligned with hers, as if he is completely present in that moment. Fans began to notice the details, the way he looks at her when she is not looking, the way her expression changes when he is near, the way their timing feels almost synchronized. These are not things that can be easily staged, they happen naturally, and that is what makes them so compelling. There was another moment that quickly went viral, a brief exchange during an interview. Nothing dramatic, just a shared laugh. Yet the way they looked at each other in that instant carried a depth that felt undeniable. It was not about the words. It was about the connection, the kind that exists quietly yet powerfully. As more moments surfaced, the conversation grew stronger. Fans could not ignore the pattern. It was not just one interaction or two, it was a series of moments that all carried the same energy, the same sense of ease, the same natural alignment that continued to appear again and again. There was a scene where Bai Lu appeared slightly nervous, her expression more reserved than usual, and Dylan Wang responded almost instinctively, his tone softer, his presence more reassuring, as if he was adjusting to her energy without even thinking about it. Moments like this reveal a level of awareness that goes beyond performance. And then there are the silent moments, the ones that speak louder than anything else, where nothing is said yet everything feels understood. In one behind-the-scenes clip, they stood close without interacting directly, yet there was a quiet awareness between them, a shared presence that felt almost tangible. It is in these silent exchanges that the mystery deepens, because silence often reveals what words cannot. The way they exist within the same space, the way their energy aligns even without direct interaction, it all contributes to a narrative that feels real in a way that cannot be easily explained. Fans are losing it over these moments not because they are obvious, but because they feel authentic, because they create a sense of curiosity that cannot be ignored, because they invite you to look closer, to notice the details, to question what you're seeing. Some believe it is simply incredible chemistry, the result of talent and experience. Others are convinced there is something more, something that exists beyond the script, something that reveals itself in the smallest gestures and the quietest moments. What makes this even more intriguing is the way both Dylan Wang and Bai Lu remain composed, never leaning into the speculation, never confirming or denying anything, allowing the mystery to exist on its own, and in doing so, making it even more powerful. Because sometimes the strongest connections are not the ones that are openly declared, but the ones that reveal themselves in subtle ways, in moments that are easy to overlook unless you're paying attention. Imagine watching a story unfold not through dialogue but through fragments, through glances, through shared laughter, through the subtle shifts that happen when two people are completely in sync. That is what this feels like, a narrative built from moments that seem small on their own, but become powerful when seen together. There was a quiet moment captured during a break in filming. Bai Lu was speaking softly, her expression thoughtful, and Dylan Wang was listening, not just hearing her words but fully engaging with them, his focus unwavering, his reactions genuine. It was a moment that did not try to stand out, yet left a lasting impression. As the layers continue to build, the question becomes harder to ignore. Is this just acting, or is it something more, something that exists beneath the surface, something that reveals itself only in those fleeting, unguarded moments? And perhaps that is why fans cannot look away, because the story is not fully told, because it continues to evolve, because every new moment adds another piece to a puzzle that is still being formed. So what do you see when you watch Dylan Wang and Bai Lu together? Do you see two talented actors creating something extraordinary, or do you see something deeper, something that goes beyond performance and into something real? Now it is your turn. Go back and watch those moments again. Pay attention to the details, the expressions, the timing, the silence, and decide for yourself, because sometimes the truth is not in what is said, but in what is felt. If this made you pause, if it made you look closer, if it made you question what you thought you knew, then share this with someone who loves uncovering hidden stories. Leave your thoughts and stay tuned, because some chemistry is impossible to ignore, and this might just be one of those rare moments where something truly unforgettable is unfolding. And just when it feels like you have seen enough to understand what is happening, another moment appears, quiet yet unforgettable, adding a new layer to the connection between Dylan Wang and Bai Lu, a moment that does not try to stand out yet somehow becomes the one you cannot stop thinking about. There was an instance during a live setting where everything seemed perfectly controlled. The lights were bright, the atmosphere steady, the focus on the event itself. Yet within that calm structure something subtle unfolded. Bai Lu paused for a brief second, her expression softening almost imperceptibly, and without hesitation Dylan Wang's attention shifted toward her, not in a way that demanded attention, but in a way that felt natural, instinctive, as if he was already tuned into her presence. It was a fleeting moment, gone almost as quickly as it appeared, yet fans who noticed it could not let it go, because it carried a kind of authenticity that cannot be easily explained. It did not feel staged, it did not feel planned, it simply happened. Then there are the moments where their reactions seem to mirror each other, not perfectly, but closely enough to create a rhythm that feels intentional even when it is not. When Bai Lu laughs, Dylan Wang's expression follows with a warmth that feels immediate. When he speaks, her attention sharpens in a way that suggests she is fully engaged. These patterns begin to form a connection that feels consistent, almost effortless. There was another behind-the-scenes clip that quietly captured attention. Bai Lu was adjusting something, focused on her own task, unaware of the camera, and Dylan Wang glanced in her direction, his expression soft, almost thoughtful, before quickly looking away. It was a small moment, easy to miss. Yet for those who noticed it, it felt significant, like a glimpse into something unspoken. It is these unscripted fragments that continue to fuel the conversation, not because they provide clear answers, but because they raise questions that invite interpretation, that encourage fans to look closer, to notice the details that might otherwise go unnoticed. Some fans point to the way their energy shifts when they are together, the way their presence seems to align, creating an atmosphere that feels different from their interactions with others. Others focus on the consistency of their timing, the way their reactions seem to complement each other naturally, as if they are moving within the same emotional space. And then there are those quiet moments of stillness, where nothing is happening on the surface, yet everything feels connected, where a glance lasts just a little longer, where a pause carries more meaning than words ever could, where the silence itself feels like part of the story. What makes this even more compelling is the balance between visibility and mystery, the way these moments are there for everyone to see, yet not fully explained, leaving just enough space for curiosity to grow, for interpretations to form, for the story to continue evolving. Because the truth is, not every connection needs to be defined to be felt. Not every moment needs to be explained to be meaningful. Sometimes it is enough to simply observe, to notice, to allow the story to unfold naturally, without forcing it into a clear conclusion. As more clips surface, as more interactions are shared, the narrative continues to build, not in a straight line, but in layers, each moment adding depth, each detail contributing to a bigger picture. that is still coming together. And through it all, Dylan Wang and Bai Lu remain grounded, focused on their work, never stepping outside the boundaries of professionalism, never addressing the speculation directly, and yet in that silence, the intrigue only grows stronger. Because sometimes what is not said becomes just as powerful as what is shown. Sometimes the absence of an answer is what keeps the story alive, what keeps people watching, what keeps them coming back for more. So the question continues to linger, not demanding a final answer, but inviting you to explore it in your own way. Is this simply exceptional chemistry brought to life by talent and experience? Or is it something more, something that exists quietly beneath the surface, revealing itself only in those fleeting, unguarded moments? Watch again, look closer, pay attention to the details, the glances, the pauses, the timing, because sometimes the most powerful connections are not the ones that are clearly defined, but the ones that reveal themselves slowly, leaving just enough mystery to keep you wondering. And if you have felt it too, if you have noticed those moments that make you pause, that make you question, that make you see them in a different light, then you already understand why fans cannot stop talking about this, because some chemistry does not just entertain, it stays with you, and this might be one of those rare connections that continues to unfold long after the moment has passed.